Okay, so for this project, what I'd like you to do is to recreate the attached image of Homer Simpson using the pen tool. So you're going to start by creating an 11 by 8.5 image in Illustrator. So we're going to open up Illustrator. We're going to go File, New. We want the width to be 11 inches and the height to be 8.5 inches. Make sure that your units is inches. Then we're going to come over, we're going to come back to the Google Classroom. We need to copy this image right here, okay? And then we're going to come into Illustrator. I'm going to open up layers. I'm going to hit Control V to paste, okay? Maybe we want to scale this up, so I'll hold down the Shift key. Just kind of scale this up a little bit right there, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer. So there's a couple things that we're going to need to complete. You're going to start, I would probably start with the interior things and then kind of work backwards. You'll notice there's kind of a gradient right here in this back box. So let me show you how to make the gradient for the back. So if I start, I can kind of just create a box here. And I'm going to fill it with, I'm going to click on this. We want the, we're going to actually click on the gradient tool. And in terms of the colors that we're going to use for the gradient, I don't really want this to be white down here. Oh, I want to click on my swatches. I can just click on swatches and go kind of red. And then if I go back to colors, I'll have all my colors right here. So kind of click on that guy. Come over here to swatches, drag red down to there. So now we have some colors. So I think if we look at this, it goes from like white on the top down to almost a blue. And we can get that blue actually. I can click using the eyedropper tool on this, and I can, and what I can do is, oh, I gotta make this layer so I can move it. Just go ahead and move this box a little bit. Click on that. Click on the eyedropper tool, and then we want it to go to that blue right there. So I really want that blue. So we're going to drag that blue in right down there. Okay, so we go from blue to white. So I'm going to drag white right there. But notice now it kind of goes at an angle. So now in order to get this at an angle, I click on the gradient right here. We can kind of click and drag like that, but that's actually backwards. It's kind of like this. And actually, if we look, it's a lot more white than it is blue. Okay, so I want to bring this layer back here. And then in order to get that, you start with the, kind of start over in this corner. Kind of start over in this corner and just kind of end before. Say if we end right there, it's all white. And maybe I'm thinking end kind of in the center, so it kind of looks like that. Maybe a little bit more like, I don't know, a little darker, kind of like that. So like looking at these two, let's take a look here. We're just kind of looking at this background right there. So I think I got that background pretty good. So now I can move this. Let's go ahead and unlock it. I can move that to right there. I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer now. I'll create a new layer on top, and actually to be able to draw over it, we're going to have to, toggle the visibility of it. The other thing that I want you to notice when you're doing this is to kind of look at the shadow. So if you take a look at the shadow, there's a gradient on this too. Okay, so I'm gonna get this shadow done right here behind him next. So I'm gonna just kind of trace around Homer's head here. Let's kind of just click and hold, kind of just trace, click there, come over here, click, click there. So I don't want this filling with anything right now, so I'll do nothing and nothing. We kind of come down to here, click and hold. Kind of have it come out to maybe right about there, click, down to there, there, some straight lines, and this is going to come the shoulder. Okay, click right there. I'm going to have this come over here, and now we're going to follow this shadow up. So I'm going to kind of click right there, click right there. So I'm following the shadow of Homer up right now. So click and hold. Okay, click. Come kind of like right here. Now you'll notice right there, I'm not getting that piece of hair right there. We'll have to come back and get that later. And then actually, I'm gonna just kind of have this go like that. Okay, so now that I have this, I also want to apply a gradient in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in with a gradient. But if we look, the gradient's gonna start and it's gonna end almost at a white and then end down there. So let's grab some of these colors right here. So I'm gonna grab the top of this right here. And actually, I'm gonna grab the top of this color. Alright, so I need to, I can make this visible again here. And if I want, I can actually just kind of move it out of the way. I'm going to grab, so we start down here. I want to start with this color. So I'll drag this to the bottom. Okay, and then we want to end with kind of this color up here. And so we'll drag that over to there. Alright, so now that's actually pretty good, but it doesn't look quite right yet. Let me fit this into the place. Now we're going to have to use the grading tool here, and you kind of click and drag. Okay, so kind of starts down here, kind of makes its way up. So if we look at like what it looked like before, so it looks like I'm not quite getting it quite right. Okay, so it looks like there's more dark than I'm getting. So what we want to do is we want to start the dark a little bit earlier. So rather than going from there, we can kind of, let's try that. Okay, so this is getting actually better, but it looks like the light is coming in a little bit too early on mine. So that's okay. So I start down here. So this is where my last one was. I kind of liked where I started it, but maybe I'm going to end it a little bit higher. So now let's see what that looks like. So before, after. That's what it was before. That's what I did before, after, before, after. So I think I'm actually pretty good, pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer. And the one last thing you're going to have to do is we're going to have to get that in there. So I'm actually going to create a new layer, use the pen tool. And I'm going to want to trace out that right there, that little shadow of his hair. Oops. So let me go Control Plus, and it's very light right here. Actually, I want nothing and nothing to begin with. It's like very light. Okay, now that I have that, we can just go ahead and grab this, fill it in with kind of a slightly darker. I don't want to use a gradient here for this. I think I'm just going to grab an actual color here. So I think so I don't want to apply the gradient. There we go. I don't know why it's still. Okay. Let me actually just get a solid color here. We're not going to use the gradient anymore. So I actually want to turn the gradient off. Kind of maybe get like this color. Oh, it's because I'm selecting that. There we go. Alright, so let's see what this looks like. Alright, so let me uncheck that. Control minus, minus, minus. Alright, so that actually looks pretty good. So this is what again, let's take a look at that's what I have, and then that's what the original is. So you can kind of see I have my hair in there, I got the shadow. So you guys can keep going with this, and then you see I have my background here too. So you're going to keep going with this, and you're going to keep tracing it out. Make sure that you watch this shadow right here. You're going to have to trace that out, so you'll trace that shadow out. Also watch, you know, how these point. So you might have to go around some of these using the pen tools to make it dark. watch that shadow over there. Okay, hopefully that helps you get started with this. Let me know if you have any questions.